Hey you guys, welcome back to Angel Angela. And on this topic, you guys, as you guys can see by the title, I wanted to talk about something that happens to us, maybe even in a daily basis, where there is a transfer of energy between you and the narcissist in your life. Energy is very powerful. Energy is all around you. Energy is who you are. We're like little cells, all connected to each other. When this narcissist that's around you connects to you, there has to be a transfer of energy. You choose where you want to go. You choose what energies you accept, whether you want to be like these people or whether you admire these people or whether you simply know who they are and figure them out and come to the conclusion that you really are not the same. Your energies are not do not align with each other. And sometimes you stay around for many reasons. You know, that's my family, or I've known this person for a long time, or, you know, we have children, many different things. And when we're not aligned to these type of people and we choose to stay around, there has to be a transfer of energies, whether we want it to happen or not happen. This is why, you know, growing up, you hear sayings, I mean, you are who your friends are. And you might say, I'm not like them. But there has to be a transfer of energies, like I said. And I always tell you guys that you're what keeps the narcissist charged. The narcissist views people as their therapist. That's really all human beings are to the narcissist. It's either the supply, you're supplying some type of supply. You might be supplying everything in their life. Your connection to the people around you plays a big role in who you are if you don't know who you are, because you might be filled with anger, sadness, regret, according to these people. And the narcissist looks at you like the perfect person to feed off of, and this is where they feel as if they need to exchange energies with you. And, you know, they feel as if, you know, I found someone who's in pain, who's very empathetic, that's in tune with their emotions. You know, they look for people that are troubled, people who are confused, people who are living in the moment, people who are in pain, are not aware or aware and want to forget, you know, their pain. They go after those type of people. Empathy is that pain that you feel, and your ability to forgive yourself and forgive others and still want to love them, even though they've done the most basically horrendous things, or even if they take your kindness for granted, you still just want to be good. Very forgiving type of person. You can feel others' pain. You can relate to others, you know, and really feel what it is that they feel in that moment. And it just gives you that, you know, moment where you just, you know, you really feel what they're saying. And the narcissist needs people like you because they understand everything. They understand why you feel the way you feel. But they need a lot of ways that you cope with pain. A lot of times they don't really think about the pain. They're just like, I'm always strong. I don't fear anything. That's their attitude. Their attitude is, I don't fear anything. You're too weak. So when they see that you have empathy, they're trying to study you, and they're like, okay, this is the perfect moment to seem upset. This is the perfect moment to show empathy. This is the perfect moment where I should feel remorseful for what I did, because they're in pain. So this means that when they're in pain, I get it. I'm supposed to be remorseful. This is how the narcissist is studying you. They're studying your empathy. And, because they always have that I'm too strong attitude. So now they're studying, your emotions in that moment. But they're still thinking in their head, I'm not going to treat you well. I'm not going to give you empathy, even though I know that you want it right now. This is where you're mind fucked, and you're like, why don't you feel bad? Why is there anything? Are you going to, you start thinking, are you going to treat others better than me? Are you going to treat them better than me? Because you know what you're doing to me. And that's because they're taking energy away from you in that moment, and you're not even understanding that, because you're not conscious of what they're doing, because you're not playing these games. So now they're sucking that energy out, because now you're focused on them and you're not focused on your inner self. You're not focused on who you are and what type of energy you shouldn't let around you. And you're not strong enough to stand, within yourself and say to yourself, whoever around me is not feeding into my soul, basically shouldn't even be around me. Your mindset it's not that strong, because you're giving, and then you're thinking that even though you and the narcissist are very different, you're thinking that what you've been through, your pain, and these things you've talked about, you think that they care, but really no, they've been studying you. And the longer you're with them, you realize that you've been studying them too. You've been studying how wicked they are. You've been studying the times where they just didn't want to interact with you, or the times they seemed really bored. You're studying what they're going to do before they do it. Like I said, like a crime show. It's like, what they're going to do before they do it. But at the same time, it's happening to you, and you're in that situation. And it's very hard to believe that this person just wants to hurt you. And when you accept that they've taken it overboard, or you've been in situations where they've showed you that there's nothing there, you tend to ignore it, because you're trying to see how evil can you get? And they will just continue to get worse, because it's like you're falling down this rabbit hole. And even if they're not physically being physical with you, the mind brainwash that they're this hypnosis they've put over you won't let you wake up. And even when you think that you're awake because you have this information, you're not awake, because you still can't get away, or you still can't process things. But the reality of it is that when you're with this person, when you're watching shows or you're watching movies, and now things are, the villain in this movie is starting to make a little bit of sense, or the narcissist knows that you're catching up to who they are, they get angry, because they're trying to figure out, how did you figure it out? Because I've always had one over you. I mean, and even if they feel like, how did you figure it out? they still feel like, well, you got half of the truth right, but you don't know the other half. I'll never let you know the other half to who I am. And to you, it's like you learned what evil truly is, and when are the right moments, like I said, like a crime show, you know the next move. Now you're in the game. The narcissist has brought you in the game. Now they've been playing chess this whole time. Now you've literally checkmated him, and he's like, whoa. She's like, whoa. They get this smirk because now they know that you know, and that you're learning. And the more you surround yourself with different people and you start to see the signs of a narcissist, and one thing you will see is that they try to exchange energies with you. They try to be relatable to you, and then they want to know how you feel or your opinion on things before they give their opinion on things. Or they might give you their opinion on something, and then they're going to want to know how you feel about it. And then they're going to change how they feel and say, oh, yeah, you're right about this. Oh, yeah, you're right about that. And they're just going to go along on what you're saying, like they're mimicking you. And it sounds and it feels so realistic. And you want to believe that these people really feel the way you feel, but they're just basically like making you open up about yourself. And then they're just, writing off your energy. And you just kind of feel that it's not really authentic. And eventually the people around them, just like you go around and you start to realize the evils of the world, right? The narcissist knows the good in others, the good in people. So this is how they manipulate their way. Now they've learned these different emotions based on what they've done to you, that, your reaction on these things they've done to you. So now, and they know the times where you feel like you really need them the most, like the times where you're hurt, you're in the hospital, the times where, you've been through something, a death in the family, the times where you really, need them, or not necessarily need them, but you expect them to give you good energy, because it's all about energy exchange. Those are the times that instead of giving you energy, they're taking energy from you. And this is why it makes you feel bad. And it's like, oh, like what's going on? Even if you don't really know what they're doing, or it's just this bad energy because you start feeling depleted. They're doing things on the low, they're undermining you. And this is where you get this, you're using my energy, my empathy, and you're taking it somewhere else. And you're fooling others using my energy. And when you're done fooling them and they're starting to see who you are, because eventually, someone can mimic you and copy your emotions, but when those emotions and those things aren't built on who they are, eventually there's going to be errors there. And it's like they're twitching, it's almost like this flash, like a TV that just there's no satellite connection, and then they zone out to being who they are, who they've always been. And this is where the new supply or their new friends or other people around them, even the flying monkeys, start to see that they aren't who they truly say they are. And this is where the flying monkeys start to see that this is basically regular for this narcissist. The flying monkeys will see that this is just what they do. And where the flying monkeys mess up is that these people are open to them, but a lot of times they're giving them half-truths. And while they're giving them half-truths, the flying monkeys are spitting back negative energy and casting spells on you. And they're not understanding that this person's telling half truth. So now bad things are happening to these flying monkeys as well behind closed doors that you don't know about. And these people are all basically in cahoots, exchanging energy, and they really don't have any good energy. This is why they gain up on people like you. And they all get together to gain up on people like you, or talk behind your back and say negative things, or have conversations about half truths that they really know nothing about, right? And the narcissist, they know that how, they get off on hurting and controlling others. That's all they really, care about. They only care about themselves. That's, it. They're just like enjoying their life, going through life, doing whatever they want to do, never planning anything out, just doing stuff, saying stuff. Also, a lot of times what you will notice is that a lot of these narcissists and their flying monkeys are always having a story to tell. There's always a story. The narcissist always has a story to tell, or they have a story about the flying monkeys. There's always something very dramatic going on in their life. There's always someone getting over on them, or someone did something to their vehicle or something. There's always something going on in these people's lives. Someone stole their vehicle, all type of crazy things. It's like literally a movie. It's like there's this script and they're all playing a role, and you're looking at the script like a CSI show, and you're just like, I'm not playing the script. I'm not going to play the role. And then you visualize different scenarios because of what you're seeing, right? And you're not surprised when something happens next, right? You're not surprised when something happens, because you're looking at the actions of all these people around, and it's like just being able. It's literally like a movie, and while things are happening, you realize that the things that are happening in front of you are set up for you to do something. Maybe the narcissist was abusive, and one day you felt so much hate for him, you felt like you could hurt him, or you felt like you could hurt her, or you started having all these crazy ideas, or you've never experienced this type of sadness, or you've never experienced this type of hate, and you realize that the relationship, everything, the way it happened, the people who are connected, you realize that it's almost like a love and hip hop script. And you're just like, I'm supposed to fight this girl. I'm supposed to fight this guy. I'm supposed to do this. I'm supposed to have so much anger. I do something really stupid. And sometimes you go through things in life and it gets you to that point where you're like, why me? But then you realize after everything, the whole little movie went down, you realize that so many things could have happened because you know who you are, and you know how bad this narcissist has pushed you, and it's made you into a conscious person to know that this person is driven by evil. And now you have this type of self-awareness over yourself and your emotions to understand that emotions are always changing. It's like when you watch someone commit a crime, they can feel differently after the crime. So that means that you've learned through this narcissist, as evil as he is, you've learned to contain your emotions more. And that's why you'll make it far in life, because some people are not on your level. They haven't understood that the narcissist is like, there's a devil for every single level. And every time you think that good things are going to happen or there's something good happening, there's a devil right there. But once you realize that you have to keep moving forward, once you realize that these people are trying to exchange energies with you because they see the good in you, they're literally mimicking you. They're laughing at you. These people are purposely doing these things to get energy out of you, to feed off your sadness. And then they're going to use your great energy to go invest it in someone else. This person's not even falling in love with the narcissist. They're falling in love with you, with your energy. Eventually, once that energy is gone, they're going to show them who they've always been, just the same way they've showed you. And then they're going to use the energy and the pain from that person and carry it to the next. And this person does this not because they care about anyone, but because they're sick and they're bored. And it's a sickness that they get off on boosting their ego by the pain of others. But that's what they do. They study your expressions. They look around and they're trying to see how weak are these people? How weak are you? Are you guys falling for everything that I say? This is why you have to be very careful who you give your energy to. There's a lot of people who portray themselves to be good people, and you can invest all your energy into believing them. But the true reality of life is that you have to live your life. You have to take advice from others according to your life. Never make anyone your God. You create. Everyone is going to sell you or sell you dreams, but it's about your dream. It's about what you've been able to grasp this whole time. And a lot of you are in a level of consciousness that a lot of people aren't. You're just afraid to use your power because the evils of this world. When you're with the narcissist, narcissists enjoy people that understand their wickedness and who are comfortable with their wickedness, and because they feel like the more comfortable you are means that you have allowed a lot of wicked people in your life. And it also makes them see that you're very forgiving. And they also see that you still don't understand them, that you don't understand that they truly don't care for anyone. It's kind of like a serial killer, having a family, and they're the perfect husband or the perfect wife, and they're doing all these evil things, evil things behind their family's back. Every other weekend, they're taking trips to hurt people, to kill people, to do all these heinous crimes. But their whole cover up, towards their family is playing the perfect husband, perfect wife, so that they could be their flying monkeys once something happens, right? And the family is not going to grasp the idea. Maybe some will, but sometimes people don't want to accept who that person is. And then sometimes you realize, wow, sometimes my dad or my mother do have these moments where they lash out for no reason, or they do something that's just not normal. And now it makes sense. And then you're thinking, and this person goes through the situation thinking to themselves, okay, well, this happened. This means that we were just a cover-up. And if we were a cover-up for all these crimes that you've been doing since I was a baby, before I was even born, probably because you just got caught for it, but you've probably been doing it before you even, created this family. This was all a cover-up. These people still will have this thing in them where they feel like, well, that's my mom or that's my dad, right? Or they feel as if some of the characteristics or some of the things that they did for them, they did it out of love, even in a twisted love type of way. But the truth of the matter is that they really don't care. It's all about them. They're very numb to emotions. That's why they don't have empathy. And, a lot of times these people are very depressed. And they don't want you to see that. And a lot of times they don't want to even see it in themselves. That's why that the narcissist tries to have this high and they can't come off that high. This is that ego of theirs. And it's almost like a kid in a candy store, and they're just like, I have to have this sugar rush off life. I have to have this sugar rush off the energy of other people. And the people I get closest to, the most, the people that I've manipulated, who I've categorized and left them in this time loop, those are the people that are going to know who I am, because I've already put them under a spell where they're in this time loop and they're repeating themselves over and over with me as I'm basically finding new souls to take out. And that's really what it is. The narcissist takes your energy and is literally out for your soul, and they're chipping at you slowly. And I believe that this is why, a lot of us should be thankful to just simply be alive. And the reason that you're alive still is because you're not done yet. There's literally something for all of us to do. Every time I think about something bad happening or anything, I'm just like, what did I do? What's the lesson to, be learned? And it's not, there shouldn't be no anger there. It should just be acceptance for the life you've lived and the life you want to live and the life you're creating as we speak for yourself. But I think the most important thing out of the whole ordeal with narcissism is that we need to find peace. We all need to find peace. Peace. That's all there is to it, is finding peace. Not always feeling as if someone is around you and someone hates you, or why is this person around you? Why is this person, antagonizing you? Why are they playing a game, and why are they playing it for so long? And why don't they stop? There's just all these things you can come up with and wonder, But the truth of the matter is, these people just need to exchange energy. You have learned what evil is. You pick up on the red flags now. And you also have to realize that you can't just trust everything easily, because a lot of times these people are speaking in tongues. And when I say that, I don't mean it like in church tongues. I mean, they're speaking words, but they're processing those words off the emotions of the people they've hurt. And that's why they can relate to you so much. And that's the scary part about narcissism. And then you pour out your feelings, and you agree, and you tell them, you reassure them that everything they're saying is correct. And then they're studying you, and then they're giving you more feedback because they know better than anyone else, because they are who they are and they feel nothing. And their pleasure is your pain. So use that pain to gather information, but to not trust anyone or anything too easily before, trust yourself. Trust your instincts when it comes to people, especially your first impressions about them, or the first time you see something in that person that you're just like, something's not right. And then a lot of times we ignore it when we see that something's not right. And then later on we keep thinking this person is who they're saying they are, because you can still keep relating to them. And just to realize that you ignored that red flag, and that's why the narcissist, especially if you're not figuring them out, they're on this high. And, it's almost like you're a flying monkey. And eventually when you start to wake up, they realize that you're not one of their flying monkeys anymore, So now you become the enemy. And you will see that this person will grow to hate you so much. And all you've done was give them good energy. And they hate you because they can't be like you. And they feel like you deserve to get treated that way because they had to go through something. And this is where they keep talking about their pain as if their pain was more painful than your pain, right? Because everything's a competition. Trust me, these people you can't really feel bad for them. You can't. And you'll want to, because they'll cry to you, they'll, victimize themselves and everything. But the fact that they will turn around and try to do something evil to you again, that lets you know the difference between you and them is that you're not the type of person to keep wanting to strike someone. But if they strike you, you feel like you have to strike back sometimes, but you don't intentionally go out to, what I'm saying? So it's just an exchange of energies. Like I always say, the narcissist feels as if, hey, you gained something out of being with them. You gained some game. I gave you something. You learned more about my evil personality, and I learned more about your emotions and like what triggers you and what calms your triggers down. And I'm gonna use that to manipulate for other things, for whatever I want. That's just their secret agenda to everything, to their whole existence. And it usually, these type of people, it never goes in their favor. That's why they always have stories to tell. That's why they're always going through some type of motion, but they're willing to pay the price. And you shouldn't bet your life on these type of people. they really are dream killers. So keep your hope, and always believe that things can change. Always put forth a plan, and love yourself always, guys. And I love you guys. Talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.